Yes, today in a message, the truth is sovereign left this message about Princess Marriott of Norway being Lisa Marie Presley. What's your thoughts, Mickey?
Very uncanny.
They are very uncanny. I noticed that I haven't quite lined the mouth up, which is coming. But, my God. When you look at these people, same eyes, same nose, same laughter line, same mouth, same chin. Oh, my God. What's your thoughts, Mickey?
Very uncanny.
Again, yes, it is. Anyway, thanks for watching. What's your thoughts to this whole thing? Oh, my God. So, Mickey.
Yes, my love.
Eagle under the Roman.
Yeah, with the star.
Eagle. This is Eagle Star. Eagle Star under the Romans. Under the Romans. I want the Romans to go.
Sad, don't it? They had to be there somewhere in your vision.
Yes, this is supposed to be London, 1930s.
The home of Rome.
There you go. Eagle Star Romans. And the Romans have got to have an eagle.
All the time.
Yeah. And it's this bit, isn't it, Mickey?
Yeah.
There's no pillars there, but I suppose they're not really pillars,
the
are they?
shape. Classic Roman roof.
Anyway, let's play the rest of the video, shall we?
Yes, please.
Mickey noticed something else, didn't you, Mickey? Go on, explain it. There's a 12 and a 13. But when you look here, there's 33.
Yeah, hang on. And 1 and 2 is 3, and there's a 3 here on the other side. So they're showing you who they are. So you've already. So this is what I'm saying. This could be set because there's no other trains
with the eagle.
Yeah.
Well, there was 2 trains in, wasn't there?
And plus you got the you've got
the little taxis up here. All looks very small and so forth.
You know, you've got like your pillars, isn't there? Your pillars like that. You know,
Mickey, they can't see your finger.
That's okay. I can.
They're not pillars. They're signs.
No,
they're pillars, aren't they? If anything.
No, I'm just saying that where they're positioned in the picture, they're like pillars between. Yeah.
Oh, right, with that, because they're there and there, right?
Yeah.
I see, like, darling. You know, sorry, yeah, I get that. Anyway, we just added that bit in because Mickey just saw 3, 3.
It's just things that fake to me. Like, you know, it's like the lockdown we had when no one was on a train, where you can get on a train.
I did that.
When you got, you know, you thought you was bunking, but
I went everywhere.
Went everywhere, exactly, because there was no one there.
There's nobody on the train.
And if this is in the wartime, or it's saying 1930s, so, and yet we know it's 13. Look, there's 14 stations, platforms at those stations, isn't there? I think that's Victoria. It's not Paddington because it doesn't, you know, hasn't got that shape. It's even more like Victoria, more flat, you know. And it just smells film set.
Well, it could just be fake, Mickey.
Yeah,
it's not
like
none of it's real
anyway.
Anyway.
The actors to come out and act on that day to fill a sort of narrative of whatever that was, or that newsreel, you know. And today there was blah 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 blah. And here on Today in the News.
Yeah, you come from that time, don't you?
They're down in London and they're having a jolly old time.
Do some more, Mickey. I say.
Please, no. No, that's just too much. No, please, darling, no.
If you were like that, they'd be all...
Yeah, I'm glad I ain't, eh?
No.
Irish Cockney.
Yeah.
Mixed up.
Well, thanks for that, Mickey.
No problem, Karen.
Anyway, let's carry on.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, I'm here with Miss Silly.
Hi, everybody.
Mickey's in a silly mood, aren't you, Mickey? But anyway, Mickey and I were just having a bit of a laugh, weren't we, Mickey?
Yeah, so...
We've joined this footage. We're at some station in London. What year was it? 1930s, they said.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
What you were saying?
I don't know what year it is. We've got steam trains, which, you know, doesn't seem to be any electric trains at all in this lot. But I suppose...
Oh, no. We're working hard.
Anyway, we saw this bit here. We can't say it's a face. We're not even going to zoom in or anything, but it just looks a bit weird. Me and Mickey saw it more or less at the same time. Ah, what's that?
Sorry.
Yeah, but we're going to let the video play, and me and Mickey are going to talk over the top, aren't we, Mickey?
Yeah, why not?
So we've got this weird guy here on the right, superimposed in.
Take it away, Ken.
Look at his face there, superimposed in, and, well, I just, he's real in it. They all seem to be superimposed. So, big station with eagles on it, wasn't it?
No, it was the lettering, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, and it was in the. I've cut that off, Mickey.
Oh no, very sort of.
Well, I can go and put it in.
Yeah.
We might have to just get the Roman Empire bit.
Yeah.
I think personally, there's a
entering.
This is I don't know what. It's like they've cut in there. Like this is different to the other side. I hope people can see that. Just here, it's like this is different to this side over here. But we are going to like some train in a minute, aren't we? We thought it was a good idea the way that this train was, but we'll get to that in a minute. Because we're really looking at this person that comes in here. Because, look how zigzaggy that's weird, isn't it?
Mm.
Looks like he's in front of her, but he's behind her. Oh, how weird's that? I don't know. I said to Mickey he looked more like he was a bit Araby or something, but Mickey said no. We'll see him in a moment. Look at that. And there's a few giants in there, isn't there? Like,
yeah, there are quite a few tall people. Yeah, a few tall men.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we're actually going to see many of them on this bit, but we saw them, didn't we, Mickey?
Yeah, so, you know.
Oh, here they are. Let's stop the footage. Me and Mickey noticed they had all these on this train, which means you wouldn't have to even see the gap down below.
Yeah, I don't think they said mind the gap in them days.
No, because when I get on
please.
the train with Floss to go and see Mickey, Floss looks at that gap and goes,
Jesus,
I'm going to jump, I've jumped, and then I go, I've got to get on the train.
It's like the Grand National for Flossie.
Because now, because of her, I've noticed the gap.
Yeah, yeah.
It's quite a big gap.
Yeah, it's like the Grand National hedge. She's got to jump that.
Flossie!
Yeah, but she makes it every time.
You don't like the gap, do you?
Yeah, and it's like the
No, but no problems on this train because they've got this nice...
Yeah. Safety valve.
We'll watch, because I think some people did get on the... Oh, and this man here, even though he's actually moving these frames, he doesn't move very much. Yeah. And we're looking around, and we're going to get back to this bloke here, yeah. We'll see him in a minute. There he is.
Who's that?
There's the man that we weren't sure of, because what we see is that half the people on the station are coloured people. I don't want to sound rude or anything. I know it's supposed to be black or whatever you want to say, but they're just darker skinned people. It seems to have covered them up. Yeah. But I've seen it so often. The giant hasn't come yet, has he, Mickey? Because he's got his head reaches up to that thing. There he is, the man on the right. I just think somehow they're all superimposed. The whole lot. Oh yeah, what do you reckon that lady? Let's go back there. That is a lady. This lady here. She's going to go over there and then she's going to come. Oh no, there you go. Do you think she's? There she is. She doesn't. Oh, it's hard to tell, but she just. Yeah, but I look at their faces. All you know. I'm sorry, colorization can't do this. Otherwise, everything would have a problem. Oh, the face. Look at that. What were you saying about the camera, Mickey?
That's one of those flat lens cameras, isn't it? Yeah.
Here comes the giant. So we've got the soldier. And the giant. But by the time they get over here, they're more or less the same height. But there's some weird box going on around. It doesn't look right, but you'll see it in a minute. And he wibble wobbles. Good sign it's not real. Wibble wobble.
So he's quite a big chap. And there's your fellow out the window, the bald head.
Yeah, here he is. He doesn't really move much in a bit. You'll see he just stays there like that. And there's the giant.
Seems like he's looking for someone.
Oh, did you see that, Mickey? Look at that. He had one on. Wow, look, watch. He's the same as him. He's got, I bet that, see his fat's changed. And now he's someone else. So he was someone else there. got like glasses and he's looking down. Do you see that? How weird's that?
With a Peaky Blinder cap.
It's all an illusion. Ooh, 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 ah. Illusion. Yeah.
It's going a bit funny now, don't
I don't know. How can you have her colourised and these are kind of black and white? Sorry, Mickey?
And here we are today at Park, the Liverpool Street Station.
Say that again in the microphone.
And here we are today at the pass of Liverpool Street Station in London. And here we have some sailors with their fathers walking down and enjoying themselves of their holidays from the trains. Over to you, Karen.
No, Mickey, it's over to you because we're now putting this bit in. We finished, but we were just looking at it. So he's kind of okay in the train, kind of. He's the most clearest one, the furthest one away, sort of thing.
He ain't moving.
But look, we've got sea creatures or monsters. Look at him. You can't they rubbed his face out. That's probably because and they've morphed. But it's probably because well anyway we don't know. But it's a horror story, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a mishmash of horror.
Right. Let's carry on.
Yeah.
Over and out.
Over and out, my love. Tally ho. Off we go.
Here, round here, back here as well. Look at him, he's lost his face. Look, he's losing his hat. Oh my God, it's just a disaster, baby. You can't have her in colour and he's in black and white and he's in black and white if they colourised it. Not as dramatic as that.
Can't get it all right.
Then we're going to lose a soldier in a minute.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether it's coloured or not.
Oh yeah, he's lost his face. Look, some of his face is in the train. It's in the train, there it is.
Split in half. That's just like...
Mickey, my witness, has seen that guard has lost
really
some of his
right,
face.
Yeah, again.
Oh, he's got it back now.
But yeah, even if it was in black and white, it's still see the same.
He's lost his face. Let's go back to that bit again. So they're coming along. This man here is going to lose his face. And we don't know why his face has been covered up. So he's lost half his face. It's got a weird put-in face there. Have you seen that? It's like a cartoon. It's coming. There, he's lost his face now. Lost his face. Half his face isn't there. Fake.
And that's the big man as well, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got past him now.
Geezer.
And the soldier looks like he's got glasses on. And he actually looks dark skinned.
Seems like he's really bad.
But
see that part there, it's like ooh. See where he's looking dark.
He's got that thing round his face. Look, what's that round his face? See it? There, look. It's part of the train in him, but it goes with him. How bizarre is that? It's got glasses on or something.
It's Hitler again.
So he looks like a black. He looks like a black man, doesn't he?
Yeah.
This person here. And how could that be in the 1930s in the UK? How would he be in the army? They don't, and nobody was here.
2 campaign medals. I think he might be a London Guard.
Superimposed, Mickey. That's how they did it.
I think it's a Queen's Guard.
Yeah, but why would they have
long lapels? Very long lapels.
But he... Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can see there he looks like a black man.
There it is.
And there's lots of darker skinned people hidden in the videos.
Yeah.
In all the videos I've watched,
earlier.
they cover up the darker skinned people and pretend they're white.
Right. No, it's just very strange. Very strange.
And that's propaganda, isn't it?
Yeah, that's changing the narrative.
You know, they've got the same kind of lives as we've got now. So, okay, we can say we've got faster trains and things like that, but nothing's really changed. This is the 1930s, so this is nearly 100 years ago. Nothing's really changed. Still got trains, still go on the trains. Well, at the moment.
Yeah. Getting place to place everything.
And then I saw something, and then I saw it, because Mickey's going, well, I don't know if it's real or not, but you can see the train through his head. So, not real. And, you know, you can say, oh, well, it's only him, but they are changing the footage. And you noticed in one of the other ones we were watching that there wasn't any people there. It's London, there's no people there.
Which I told you.
It was a bit, yeah, but there's millions of people here.
No, look, we were
Oh,
saying...
look, the carriage through his head,
It's a shame we didn't have the beginning because it was like a set. Like, it's like they were the only people there and no one else was there at the train station. There was no one even getting in the taxis, you know. You said yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a, you know, when they first began it, you know.
So London, it was quite, but that could have been just after I can't remember what year that was, but...
I think it's the same one.
It could have been, let's move on. It could have been just after the war or something. It wouldn't have been so many people around.
1930.
You can see through his head.
Yeah.
But there you go, see through his head again. He shouldn't be able to do these things. If he was really there, he'd really be there. But half his face has disappeared. Look at that man in the train. It's all this wibble wobbling they do. Yeah, so everything just looks weird. It's like a felt set, that's what I've said. I just, I don't know what to make of it.
You can easily make, you know, propagandise.
You need, oh yeah, look, the building's through his hat there. Do I show you there? Look, yes, he's got the building going through his head. It's just, this is awful that, you know, nobody's noticing it. Just so you can see what they can get past us, don't you think? So what you say, Mickey?
Mm-hmm.
This what were you saying?
Yeah, no, I was saying about, you know, this could be like how to make propaganda, same way they make propaganda films to say, yeah, everything's prosperous and okay. We'll go on holiday and...
What was this to show that we were
like
prosperous? Prosperous. Is this what this is to show?
Well, everyone there got money going on holiday or coming back. Yeah.
Well, they haven't got that many people have got suitcases.
No, because I think they're coming from the coast. Because we see some sailors come through. On the last one, the same one.
Look at their feet. You have to watch their feet when they're, you know, if it's in the footage, you have to watch their feet as along the ground.
Yeah. So, if it's in the Second World War, you ain't going to get a lot of traffic.
1930s.
If it says 30, then you're sort
There's that man again. Oh yeah, so that bit's going through his head there.
1930.
He's superimposed to the train and he's walking past it, which is impossible. Yeah. But we're coming to the end now, Mickey. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah. I'm just spotting that, like, the last carriages at the end don't seem right.
They're all squished together. They're tiny.
Well, I mean, start from this carriage and on.
You can't see that, Mickey. You have to use the mouse. From this carriage back, yeah.
Back. Yeah,
I mean, that's not a very long one. They're not very big carriages. Tiny carriages. All that effort for tiny carriages.
I bet they're comfortable inside. Yeah, keep your clothes nice and clean, especially looking like that.
Let's look at that. Fake, and through his head as well. Both the guards there, the ones with the silver bit, whatever they are, had the train through them.
Yeah, the guards.
Whatever they are.
A lot of porters. Probably porters, but I don't see them carrying suitcases. Porters in their taxis and that with a suitcase, don't they? Is that a Frenchman?
And that's the end of our video, Mickey.
They look like a Frenchman.
Well, it's good, but I thought he looked like he was a graduate.
Yeah, look. And he got a French cap.
Well, it's the guards, aren't they? Or is that like he's at school? He's just graduated.
Yeah, that white band round the top.
Well, it's hard to tell because he's lost some of his face. And do these people really look real? That's it, Mickey.
Yeah, good.
Anyway, it's your fault again. But I have done a lot of that video. I've done the buses. I've done the bit in the middle, and we hadn't done this bit. We did it when they were coming out of the trains. The people were morphing, but there wasn't enough of the footage on this one. That wasn't on there.
You said earlier.
Oh, but we did that bit today. So thanks, Mickey.
Yeah.
Thank you, my darling.
Okay, Cam. Thank you. You're saying.
I had to sit somewhere today that did a minute's silence for Ukraine. Yes, not amused. But anyway, I wanted to look up to see if Putin was related to them. Well, it says there is that he is the great-grandson of the cousin of the last emperor, Nicholas II. He is the great-grandson of the cousin of the last emperor, Nicholas II. There you go. So he is related to them. No member of the Romanov family ever thought we would come back. So he must be a Romanov then, because he's come back. As he's a Romanov. He was raised in Spain and France. Yes, well, there you go. But I also think it's quite, we've got the Duke of Edinburgh related to the Romanovs. And we've got, I think also, Princess Margaret of Kent and Michael of Kent. They are related to them as well, obviously. They're all related. They're related to each other. Do you really think they're going to have great big wars? Anyway, they're related because they're in the same thing. The Roman thing. They're all part of it. Look what that says. Romanov. They're Romans. Look it up. There you go. They're not directly descended from the Roman Empire, but their family's name, the Romanovs. Let's look it up a bit more. Hang on. The Romanovs were the royal family in Russia from 1613, so that must be when one of those changes happened to 1917. They were not directly descended from the Roman Empire, but their family name Romanov was chosen by Tsar Michael I. The first Romanov Tsar is in honour of the Roman Empire. But I have did both call themselves Romans? Well, I found when I made a video, it said that they are related to the Romans. The reason I'm putting this video in about the Tsars and about when I made the video, I didn't actually put the beginning bit on because it was actually quite a long video. What it is that I had got more interested in the fact that Prince Philip's mum had got buried in this church, and this church now sits in Israel, but it didn't. It used to be Palestine, and Palestine then turned into Israel, and I show it later on how they basically destroyed Palestine. But when you look there, you can see that when they've made Israel, that England was running it for a while. And this is all what it really is the Roman Empire. What I hadn't realised though until I made this video was, if you understand that people are kings here in history, they'll be English kings, but you don't maybe realise, some people do, but they will be kings in Europe as well. They'll be like James II here, or it'll be James VII wherever he's king. But what that's telling you is that they are the Roman Empire. They're emperors. Being kings here, kings there, okay, the word is kings, but they're emperors. Putin is flying double eagles at the moment, which means he's one. That's what a double eagle means. Hitler flew them as well in the Second World War. He was one. You don't just fly double eagles for nothing. double eagles. Look up the Roman history. It means you're part of the Roman Empire. So they can't be at war because they're all part of the same thing. And once you realise that Putin is related to them, you can see how silly everything really is. But what I did was, because obviously I was just making this little video, a bit about Putin. We're going to play the video. I made it in, I don't know, I made it a good year ago, and it was a hangout. But I will add in that because he's related to them. He's related to all of that. Putin is. What it was is I wondered when he was related, whether he was, when they said he was the great-great-grand cousin, that, you know, you can be related because you're married to someone who's related to them. Then they become your family, but they're in-laws. But Putin saying they never thought we'd come back means that he knows that he's a Romanov. And it's just bizarre. There's a Romanov running the country. It's just absolutely bizarre that they've got rid of the Romanovs, but there's one running the country. And then we all got this idea, really, that the Tsar of Russia became the King of England, and they killed them off just in, you know, the fairy tale story. It's all bananas. They're all related, and until everybody wakes up and realises that they're all related, they're selected, not elected, we're going to be in the same system, and at this rate with 15-minute cities, probably shackles. It gets more complicated as it does, and it brings up, because they don't show you, and then I find it. It's a bit weird, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Anyway, I went through all this, and then I remembered that I had seen the Tsar of Russia's wife dressed like a nun. Right? And so what it is Alice, the daughter of Queen Victoria, is the mother of the Grand Duchess Elizabeth, who later obviously became Princess of Russia and Prussia, because it's got, he married Prince Irene of Prussia, so it's Prussia as well. And then she's called Feodorovna. Okay. It's most bizarre. Anyway, so she was a Battenberg, and I've said earlier on that's how Prince Philip got to be in England. So there it says, Mother Victoria Hesse, and by Rhine, and Prince Andrew of Greece and Denmark. Which is really crazy as well, because Prince Philip's mum marries into that lot as well. Anyway, there it is. There's the picture. That's the Tsar of Russia's wife. And what she did was, she founded the church in... she founded being a nun. The church was built by... afterwards. And yeah, and that's where eventually she got buried, and eventually where Prince Philip's mum's buried. It's quite deep here because they turned into nuns. Basically, she looks a bit like Prince William, doesn't she? Anyway, it explains there of the Rhine, Princess Alice of the United Kingdom is the granddaughter of Queen Victoria, and the Grand Duchess Elizabeth was born Princess Elizabeth of Hesse and Rhine. So she's the Alice is the daughter, and she's the granddaughter of Queen Victoria. She is the one that married the Tsar of Russia, the granddaughter of Queen Victoria. Anyway, I was just reading through it. You can stop and look at this if you want at any time and read it, or we move on as it comes up. I think it's gonna, yeah. And there it is with her selling all her stuff after, and then founding, and then it goes on, and there's loads of them. I didn't look into it all because I can't. I'd be here for hours, and then we'd never still get back to the beginning because it goes on and on. You just find, I bet I'd find masses of interesting stuff if I started reading about them. But you could stop at any of those bits and slowly put it down if you wanted to read it. Gets too much. I'm trying to find out other stuff, but it carries on. All the others, or whatever, members of the family. There she is, the Tsar's wife, later on wearing stuff. This is a living descendant. There's a living descendant, and wait for it, guess who was? Ta-da! Look at that! Oh my god! Sorry, I've been waiting for that to come. Living descendant of the House of Romanov. So not only was he the Prince of Denmark, I asked what nationality he was earlier on. It just doesn't give it to you. I said they say that he's Greek and he's Danish prince, but it doesn't say his bloodline or anything. And then suddenly, there it is. Look at that. What does it mean? Was he really the king? I don't know. I don't quite believe it, but I thought, was he the king and the queen was the cover? I don't know. Well, something big is happening. I mean, Harry goes to Canada and leaving the royal family, haha, but goes to that dance thing where they're promoted the Lyris thing. So yeah, and everybody was singing, all the people that had taken it. So there you go. And the chief executive of Canada has gone. So she's next in line to the Queen. And now he's gone. Anyway, I'm just going to show that they're just all related one way or another. You know, like, I found out through Mercia and all that, is all these families fighting. That's really all it... Oh, yeah, sorry, King Henry was Lancasters. They were all part of the Plantagenets after all. Maybe the Tudors weren't, but the House of Lancaster and the House of York were. And actually, they're part of the Plantagenets that were fighting. So this lot must be all part of the same sort of family fighting. But as said, Julian said, when they marry off people into, like, a Greek into an English, it does something legally and then they can do things. Don't ask me what, because it sounds most bizarre. I'm just all of it. But there you go. There is him was a living descendant. And also, today in the news, I saw a few minutes of the news, they were sort of going for him. And he's another living descendant of them. Another one, related a bit differently, but another Romanov. Like, that's Russian in our royal family. So the royal children, Prince Charles and that, is half Russian. I was just looking up on the next page there, it was about the Ottoman Empire, and that goes back to, that says 1613 there. I'm not getting into any more because it goes on, and there's all these other people. And the Empire of Sweden. Oh, yes. So, basically, Michael's grandson, Peter the Great, transformed Russia from a landlocked state into one of Europe's empires. One empire. Through the wars with the Ottoman Empire, 2 empires. And the Empire of Sweden, 3 empires. Oh. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. And then we have the Russian one. Oh my god, it's just so complicated. Oh, and the Holy Roman Empire. How does all this work? What, is everybody in the empire? And then it goes on to Nicholas II, which is Elizabeth's husband. And on we go. Even got Napoleon in there. So I was trying to, I don't know, I'm just so confused now. I'm even more confused why it has to be like this. But anyway, they're all related. They're all related. This person, because I thought, how am I gonna, because I'm looking at them and they've got different names. She's the same person. When you look up Tsar Alexander's wife, they say that, but this is the same person. Her grandparents are Queen Victoria and Albert. Princess Elizabeth of Prussia, Prince Charles of Hesse and Bahrain. With the Church of Mary of Magdalene, Jerusalem, where she's buried. And you find her wearing, or looking quite nun-like, but I thought she was dressed more like that because it was a lot more to do with the hospital. She was dressed like that. They're saying it's because she was like a nun. And that one's the same one. They're the same ones. I know it's got different dates there. That's the same one as this one. Because right at this moment I thought I was going crazy. So press her picture. That's her. Every time I try to find something out, it just gets more complicated. It's a bit annoying really. But anyway, on with the video. So basically, in my history, there was the Ottoman Empire. Then you've also got, we didn't become a country till the 1920s. And whatever we were in before was changed about those times. And then after that, in the 1930s comes the Commonwealths. The Holy Roman Empire was gathering up speed. Tartaria, I said, didn't end till the First World War, and that's got all that Holy Roman Empire in it. And and then Gillian's going, I just don't understand. I don't understand why she's buried there, like it's Israel. But what you have to remember is that it wasn't Israel then. Israel came in the 1940s, so it was still called Palestine. Oh right, when the church was built, it was built in Palestine, and she wanted to be buried with, who's a Grand Duchess, and when she was buried there, it was Palestine. But when Prince Philip's mum was going to be buried, it was Israel. But don't forget, at the end of the 1800s, the Russians were creating a new religion, the Orthodox Russian Church, and that's what that is. That's what Mary Magdalene Church is. It's a Russian church in, well, it's now called Israel, but it would have been made and put into Palestine. So yeah, big change happened in the 1900s, and that's where a lot of change has happened. There you go, Russian Orthodoxy, and took the name Grand Duchess Elizabeth Feodorovna of Russia. Her husband was Russian. But, Gillian noticed that, if you want to change anything in history, you just marry someone from another country. And then your bloodline, their bloodline, makes new laws. Well, that's what they've done. And there's the mention of the Ottoman there, see? In Ottoman Palestine. But obviously when the Ottoman Empire was disbanded, then they started putting together Israel. And to be honest, Palestine was the whole of the land. Now it's basically Israel. They've made Palestine so small. There's a bit more information. You can keep reading, you can stop it. Who founded this church? And she took religious vows and turned her back on royal life. After the assassination of her husband, Elizabeth took religious vows and turned her back on the royal life. She sold all her jewels and possessions and money. Yeah, that's his mum. And then basically she put her last bit of money into making this nunnery and her life. That's the Grand Duchess. That's Elizabeth. That's her auntie. And she wanted to be buried with the Grand Duchess. I mean, Gillian was wondering whether it actually meant something more to do with the bloodline bit of it. Because why would you want, when you get to a Grand Duchess, Grand Duke, they're almost next to the king. They'll if you're called a Grand Duchess or Grand Duke, you basically are 6th or 7th in line to the throne. You could be a brother, stuff like that. Anyway, this is all about how Prince Philip was smuggled into this country. What he says is, after Tsar Nicholas II abdicated in 1917, Elizabeth and other members of the royal family were taken to Serbia, where Lenin had ordered their deaths. The story of their demise was particularly grisly. Grenades were then tossed. Nice. Some, but not all were killed, and Elizabeth was reportedly among the survivors. Evidence was found that she had bandaged some of the wounded before succumbing to her wounds and starvation. Her remains were smuggled out of the country, and after a stop in China were eventually taken to Jerusalem in the 1920s, in line with Elizabeth's desire for her to be her final resting place. That to be her final resting place. That's the Tsar of Russia's wife. Got taken there and buried. And, again, weren't we all told that everybody died when he was assassinated? Living for a few days, but she died. At the Battenberg, Mountbatten, see? So, the reason that Philip went to that family is because they were relatives. Now explains her husband dies in 1944. And she's, like Grand Duchess Elizabeth, chose a religious life, devoted to charity and service, selling off her valuables and establishing a Greek Orthodox nursing order with her name as her aunt's covenant. After Greek coup in spring 1967, Alice had then been spared a cruel fate like her aunt when Prince Philip and Elizabeth II brought her to London and Buckingham Palace for the last 2 years of her life. So it's her aunt and her are now buried in this church in what is now Israel but was called Palestine. Well, when the church was built and her aunt was buried, it was Palestine. There's a little bit more there. Look, it's ridiculous how they basically reckon that she had sexual frustration and that's why she needs to be treated. But anyway, that is a bit more information which you can stop and look at it if you want. So we wanted to know what a Grand Duchess was. It says wife or widow of a Grand Duke, or a daughter or granddaughter of a Russian Tsar. Or a Grand Duke is a prince or nobleman ruling a territory in certain European countries, a son or grandson of a Russian Tsar. A little bit more there, information on the right if you want to look at it, or what they're saying. Yeah, it's so complicated, doesn't it? You can't remember what everything you know, you have to go and check it. The Henrys don't add up, even if you take away one of them. That's the Roman Empire. So it was German king that was the Roman Empire, not the English one. I didn't think so, but then yesterday after looking it all up I thought, because I only looked up English kings and they bring him into it. Anyway, there's a Grand Duke, kings, you can read that. The Grand Duke is the personal advisor of the king, and Prince Charming is tasked at keeping peace with the kingdom. Uses of titles Grand Duke, Duke and Prince. In all European countries, the sovereign Grand Duke or Grand Prince is the Eastern line, is considered the third largest monarch title in presidents after Emperor the King. In Germany, a sovereign duke outranks a sovereign prince. Wow! And then it's the same, so we're looking up Duchess. And then I started noticing that obviously she married a Russian, but she was Scottish. Or had spent a lot of time in Scotland. But anyway, we're doing this about the Grand Duchess Elizabeth, which is her. So you've got Prince Philip, his mother, and then this is his. And the other one is the Tsar of Russia's wife, and that's her aunt, who is the Grand Duchess. I think it should have Palestine in inverted apostrophes, because it's now Jerusalem, but it wasn't. When the church was erected and the grandmother Ella was buried there, it was Palestine. They don't like any of these old names, do they? There's a bit more about it there. The Grand Duchess Elizabeth, which was her auntie. So supposedly she was kind of murdered on the day, or maybe a few days later after her husband died. Amazing that the story has changed once again, but she died later on. I thought everybody died on the day. So we decided to go and look up Alexander Fyodorovna. It's a bit more about her. Princess Alice of... So that's Queen Victoria's granddaughter. And she married into a Russian family. Consort of the Russian Emperor Nicholas II. And then the other one, the one that's got buried with her, Prince Philip's mother, she was Scottish. Oh, there you go. Was Queen Victoria's granddaughter and is best remembered as the last Tsarina of Russia. Yeah. That's the Tsar's wife, isn't it? Oh, I'm going to just have a look at that again. Yeah, so after all that, she is buried in this church, and she's buried in the church, and her daughter, she had a daughter-in-law, her auntie, she wants to get buried with her. That's what it is. So that's what that is. The Tsar of Russia's wife. I don't know why she's buried. Well, I suppose anyway. She's buried there, and then that makes her her auntie. Anyway, I'm looking up a little bit. So that's Tsar Alexander III. He built the church for her. Would you believe? They like building churches, don't they? So he built it in 1888, and then eventually she went and lived, was buried there. It's all a bit confusing, isn't it? So many, they've all got the same kind of names. There you go. She was the Grand Duchy Maria Alexandrovna of Russia. So I think that's the Tsar's. Yeah, I think she's Maria of Hesse. Oh, I've got all confused now. Maria Alexandra, that's the Tsar's wife. Maria, yes, it's the Tsar's wife. She doesn't look the same there, does she? She looks different. I don't know. Got a bit confused now. Oh, I'm a bit confused now. Because we were looking up Maria Alexandrovna. Sure, that's we'll find out in a minute. Tsar Alexander II of Russia and the Empress Maria Alexandra and their fifth son, the Grand Duke. Right. Gets quite confusing when you're talking. It just does, about all the names. Yeah, that's got to be 1855. So that's got to be her mother, the Grand Duchess Maria Alexandrovna. That was the Tsar of Russia, the one that became the King of England. That must be her mother then, or his mother. Oh, I'm a bit confused now, because they didn't come to the throne, or he didn't come to a bit later on, I don't think. Louis II and Princess Wilhelm Baden. Became the Russian Empress Consort and was known for her intellect. Says the remains of Maria, and her name, the mother of the Tsars, the late last Tsar Nicholas II, has arrived in Russia's second city. Nicholas was killed along with his wife. It says killed along with his wife there. Children and a servant in 1980. His mother escaped that fate after she was rescued from the Crimean Peninsula by a British cruiser. So she was rescued. Yes, that's about the Tsar's mother, which you can stop and read that. And yeah, all to do with Russian Orthodoxy Church again of Denmark. So this is Prince Philip's mum, and we're talking about, we've gone back a couple of generations. And then this is, we decided to see when Palestine was made into Israel, and there you go, that's what it's saying. So before 1946 it was Palestine. And now look at it, there's hardly any Palestine. trying to get rid of it. But when the church was made, when the Grand Duchess was buried there, it was Palestine. And then, of course, Prince Philip's mum wanted to be buried there too. I wonder if everybody can see what's going on. They're just trying to get rid of Palestine, and of course then it shows different. Oh, I don't know, it's just different than Israel. I don't know, it's just different. Anyway, so this is the church. It's quite a nice looking church. A Russian Orthodox church, which has got this link to Greece, being that it's Orthodox. And Orthodox seems to me that they didn't want to be part of the Roman Holy Empire. That's what that's about. Greece didn't, Russia didn't. And then something happened with us, but then we're talking of the Ottoman Empire there, which ruled, I think, to the 1920s, but they're talking about Palestine here. Bit of information there you can read if you want, if you believe it. A lot of things were changing quite drastically in the late 1800s to about the 1950s. I've already said, we become a country. Palestine's lost, Israel's made. The Ottoman Empire is gone. We don't hear about the Holy Roman Empire anymore, do we? Which must have been about, what, the First and Second World War were about the First, Second, Third Reich. Holy Roman Empire. So, yeah. It's quite hard to work it all out. I wish I'd put the words on when me and Gillian were going through it, because I got a little bit confused there, but I think everybody got it. It just, every time you go to another page, there's masses more there, and you could go on, and then by the time you're finished, you're not even on the subject you're talking about. That's what happens, because it's so sort of detailed and broken up. And look at that, there's about the First World War and Palestine. But as said, when the church was made, and when the Grand Duchess was buried there, it was Palestine. Whatever that is, I don't know why they'd want to be buried in Palestine, but there you go. And you could see that the Ottoman Empire went from 1517 to 19... It says 1917, but I've seen it's 1925, but well, about then, 1920s. Not sure if I've explained anything. Oh yes, we wanted to look up the map, because when Jesus was here 2,000 years ago, it was Galilee, Samaria, and Jerusalem is in Judah. And I suppose all those names are in the Bible anyway, aren't they? I don't know why they have got rid of all that and done what they've done. Anyway, I'm not sure if I've explained anything, to be honest. I don't, that's so confusing about Henry VII. I never put in Henry VII of Germany. I said Henry VII of England. So they are separate people. But even looking this up, this is quite complicated. We only wanted to look up a few bits and still don't really understand why they've been buried in, well, I suppose it would have been Judah, wouldn't it? Palestine. Now Israel. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. I thought this was going to be quite an easy little video, but yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching.